Today we're going to be building pack 3. This is issue 6 of Build the Batmobile 1966. We're going to be doing the gearbox and oil pan. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the threads in the one of the gearbox casings. So I just need to identify what screws go where. So there is a DM screw goes there and into this position, and then we screw together with CM screws. So I'm gonna measure the screws. So they should be about 2 mil. Let's get one of the DM screws. Yeah, 1.97. That's 2 mil. And the CM screw, yeah, about 2 mil. So at the end of there, showing on 190 view. So they are 2 mil. So I'm going to take a 2 mil tap, and I'm going to just tap the holes. So as usual, start it off, a couple of turns, reverse it, a couple of turns in, a couple of turns back out, turns in, so on, so on. Well, just hitting the bottom, you can feel it's starting to get a bit of resistance. I'll go on and do the same for the other ones. Next we take the oil pan 06D, and then we take the connector 06E, and we'll put it there, and then we'll screw that together with DP screws. So you can see they're plastic, they got the coarse thread in them. Next we take the oil pan and we connect it to the gearbox housing. Notice that that is slightly sloping, and that needs to slope back. So the bigger part of the, or the thicker part of the housing goes to that side of the gearbox. If you have it the other way around, you notice there's a gap in the front. So it goes that way round. Screw in. Right, that's that bit. Next, we recover the bell housing that we did in a previous issue. That will go, so basically that connector will be at the top, and the bell housing will fit into that location, and we screw that in with a DM screw. Okay. Plus we take the slip yoke, which is 06H. That will fit into this location here. If you notice, this is just fallen off, but I'm not going to glue it in until we actually know the position. So a little bit, loosen it. But until actually it's together and I actually know the orientation of it, then I'll just put a spot of glue to hold it in place permanently. So anyway, back to the slip yoke is in. Then I take the other half of the chassis, or the casing, and that will go on there and then screw together with CM screws. Put on there, just check that's positioned. And then we got 2 CM screws that go into these 2 locations. Okay, they tighten up nice and smooth because we've cut the threads. Yep, don't over tighten. Okay, quite happy with that. Next, we're gonna fit this plate onto this location. I've just cut these 2 holes with a point or 1.7 mil tap. So there's the screws. I measured it, 1.67, 1.7 mil. Yeah. So we take the gearbox securing bracket, for the top. Right, a bit, and finally the second screw. There we are. Guess what? It's fallen off again. So I think I'm gonna just put this safely until we need it. But that is the end of that issue. Issue 7 of Build the Batmobile 1966. We're going to be fitting the right engine bracket and distributor. Right, first you take the bracket or 7C. Then the engine connector, the screwing connector, will fit on the top. If you notice, there's a little pin there and a hole there for the pin to go in, and then you screw it together with AM screws. I've just cut the thread in that one, as you can see. Oh, and also I'm gonna connect this then gets fixed to this with a AM screw too. So what I'm going to do is cut the thread in that. It's a 1.7 mil. I'm just gonna right, I think that's the bottom. You feel it tight. And if there you can see the chuck is slipping slightly. Yeah, you can see that. See all the swarf come out. We just check. You can see the thread is nicely cut in that, and you you could probably tighten it up with your fingers. Nice. Okay, so back to that. So that connector goes on the top of there, the pin into the hole. We then screw them together with the AM screw. Okay. So we take the right engine block, that will go into that location, and that orientation. If you notice some little flap bits on the engine block, this goes in, and then we screw it together with a AM screw. Not over tightening. So that part's done. Next we take the distributor, and we take the distributor center cap 07H, and we just push that in. Just check that it's round. Yeah, it's in there. Next we take the distributor cap plugs. We need to cut these off the sprue, so I'm just gonna. So I'm using a set of cutters, these are God hand cutters, but you can get cheaper of these, where they've just cut on one side. So you've basically got an angle bit, and then you've got a flat. And they tend to, when you cut them, they cut very easy, and because they're sharp. Plus the part doesn't fly off. So if you're using, because of the angled on these, they tend to, when you cut, the part tends to ping off. So, but with these, they cut very nice, but you have to watch what size sprue you cut. So these are very thin to this point, so I would use these. But if they were thick sprue, I wouldn't risk breaking them. Right, next we fit these plug caps onto the distributor, so they just push on. Quite a tight fit. You can hear I'm just going to put the center one on before I get too far into it, and I won't be able to, or struggle to get it in. There we are. Next, we push the vacuum advance unit 07G into the side of the distributor. If you notice, there's a flat edge, so it's like a D shape, and the D-shaped hole on that side. Then they go in like that, pushes in. They're very tight. I was going to take it back out and put a bit of glue on it, but I don't think I need to. Okay, there we are. Next, we secure the distributor shaft to the engine block. If you notice, there's a little screw hole there and a little key, and the key goes into that part there, and this goes over there. And then we screw it together with TP screws. Right, we'll tighten it all the way, just make sure that's in location. So you can see, right there, feel it click in, and it's, when it locates, there we are. Then we take the distributor. You can see it's got a D-shaped hole, D-shaped there. And that will go on top of there. I'm going to put a, no, I'm not going to, I was going to put a bit of glue on it, but I don't think I need to. So that is the end of that issue. Issue 8 of Build the Batmobile, 1966. Today we're going to be carrying on doing the generator and the oil pan. And that's what it'll look like when it's finished. Right, first we secure the oil pan, which is 08B. This is plastic, and we secure it to the oil pan bottom. So it goes there, and then we screw it together with AP screws. Don't over tighten. Next we take the oil pan hose bracket, which is that little black plastic piece, and stick it onto the hose. Same as usual, just push it on, just give it a twist, and that will then connect. On the side of the pan there is a little pin, and there's a hole in the back of that, and that will just push on. There we are. Next we take the pan top, just noting the orientation of it, where these two pins are upwards. So you can see where the locations that they go on, like that. And then we'll screw those together with AP screws. Okay, not over tightening. Okay, there's that bit. Next we start assembling the generator. So if we take the the cover for the generator, there, when it goes together, there is a TP screw that fits at the end to hold it all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screw, and I'm just going to cut the thread in this first before I put it all together. So just put it in a couple of threads, take it out again, just to cut the thread to make life a bit easier when we all put it all together. So you can see the bits of the plastic on it. So then we take the inner pulley. Notice the orientation of it. The fan are on the inside, or if you look at it, this raised bit goes forward. Next we take 08L. That will push over the shaft. Then we have 08K. Then that will go over the top of that. And you can see it just makes a pulley then with a recess in it. And then we'll screw that together with the TP screw. There we are. And then you can see the shape of the pulley. Then I take the rear or the front cover, and then that will go. There's a little lug there and a hole there. That will go in there, and then we screw it with the TP screw in. So I put that there. So it has a little bit of movement, so I can adjust it if need be. And then you have a cap then that fits over the top. It just fits in like that. Next we recover the engine block, and I've figured out from when that goes into this location there, and you see it's got like a keyway and the slot there for that to go in, and then it gets screwed from the rear with a TP screw. That gives away then the location of this. That's why I left it slightly slack so I could rotate it, and you can see that it's 90 degrees to that. So I'm just gonna take the TP screw and I'm just gonna cut the thread again in the rear of it, and then I'll put that on and then screw it in from the rear. As you can see, there's a keyway here and there, so we put that there and then we screw in from the rear. So it looks like the end of this issue, and we have a bracket there that we need to keep as well. We need to keep that safe because we're not using it at the moment. So in this pack now that we have completed this and the rest of that and the pan.